Good afternoon and welcome to the first ever SA Super League weekly show. I'm your host TJ Saunders. I'm joined here with Bowls SA representative Matthew Northcott and from the Eastern Raiders Michael Lodge and also Hawthorn Bowling Club. Welcome boys.
Thanks TJ, good to be here mate.
Yeah, it's great to be here on a beautiful day.
So the SA Weekly Show, what is it? It's brought to you every Wednesday 4pm. We're going to introduce and announce the teams. We're going to have a look through those teams, the matchups, put our tips in, analyse a few thoughts, maybe put the kiss of death on a few players. Also, obviously, from next week, we can't. This week being the first week, we'll have a look at some hot shots from the previous week. And then each week, as we have today with Michael, we'll have a player from the different teams come along and join us to give their analysis of the team makeup. So, look, it's Salisbury Bowling Club, 6 o'clock on Friday night. It's a kick-off for the first one. Just 2 more sleeps.
Yeah, getting real close now.
It's come around quick and very much looking forward to it.
Yep. So Matt, can you give us a quick rundown on the makeup of the comp and what we're looking forward to?
Absolutely, TJ. So for those that have missed it, we've got our 8 SA Super League teams, which are newly created, the franchise teams. In those teams, we've got the 12 players per squad. We have the 6 locals and then the 6 players that were drafted on June the 7th. Of the 207 draft applicants, around 48 were taken on June 7th to fill up that squad. On the match days, we'll have 6 players playing in each match, so they'll play singles, pairs and triples disciplines. Each discipline will play 18 ends, so it's very much a shortened format, and play will be moving along a lot quicker than the traditional bowl, so we're really making an effort to make it a results-orientated game. Couple of innovations, super ends, double shots, like we see in power play like BPL, so each team has a real good opportunity to claw their way back into the match if they're down early or down big. Each rink gets 2 super ends per match. There'll be 7 minor rounds, each team playing each other, and then the top 4 will make the finals to play off, ultimately deciding the inaugural SA Super League champion team. So, sounds good, doesn't it, boys?
Absolutely excellent.
If you didn't catch all of that, if you need more information, just jump onto the Bowls SA website, Facebook page or Instagram, or alternatively give us a call here and we'll give you more information, but they'll just have to take our word for it. It's going to be a lot of fun and looking forward to Friday, hey?
Excellent. So
I just want to jump in, sorry, we couldn't be here as well without the support of our wonderful sponsors for the competition, so in getting anything new off the ground, it's fantastic to have the support of City of Salisbury, Lion, aka West End and Sports Centre. Their contribution has been fantastic to get this competition off the ground, so we thank them.
Perfect, Matthew, and of course the sponsors are actually vital to the success of our game longevity. So as alluded earlier, we go through the round 1. The teams have been locked in from about lunchtime, and I'm sure all the players have been made aware of their selection or what's actually happening with their team. Yep. We'll actually go through those, have a look. We'll ask Michael for a bit of an insight and his thoughts on that. Give the tips of what we think is going to be happening overall. And if you've got any questions, we'll actually probably pick out the best question. So put them through to the Bowls SA. Matt, where can they go to lodge that question?
Just type in the comments, any questions you have or comments, type them in and we'll relay the best one back at the end of the show. So make sure you're interacting with the show. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep, so look, get typing. Brilliant. So, let's get stuck into it. The first game, Michael, let's kick it off, mate, with your team, the Central Chargers versus the Eastern Raiders. So if we're looking at the Chargers lineup, we've got Craig Mills playing the singles, Steve Dennis, Wayne Rudiker in the pairs, and Renato Carlisto, Adrian Green and Mark Haynes in the triples. So they'll be up against the Raiders, which is Michael Lodge's team here, with Mitch Percy playing the singles, Tony Treloar and Michael in the pairs, with Dwayne Edwards, Chris Flavel and Carl Strapel. So, look, first round up. Michael, what do you think?
Well, I reckon we get the job done. We've only had 1 meeting as a squad to have a practice, but we got on really well together and we're hoping that we can take it into the first match with that positive energy. I think probably the one to watch in that match will be Craig Mills versus Mitch Percy in the singles, because Millsy, he's just an absolute gun singles player, has been for a long time, well recognised for that, but young Mitch, he's been, only sort of new to SA Bowls and over the last few years has really made a name for himself getting in the stateside. and he will, I think, being on synthetic, he's from a synthetic club himself, so he might have a bit of advantage there. So it'd be really interesting to see which way that match goes.
Yeah, and you, Matthew?
Look, it's obviously two really strong teams. I just did a bit of a look before, and I reckon 10 of the 12 have played state bowls before, so there's a lot of talent between these two teams. As you said, Lodgy, the singles match is going to be critical, but I've put it down to the triples for this one. Lots of good players in that rink. I reckon that the winner of that one will probably decide the game, and I'm just going to back the Chargers in a tight one on this one. Sorry, mate. I reckon they'll just get over the top of you.
Oh, well, you're allowed to be wrong once, Matthew, anyway.
What do you reckon, TJ? Break
I think,
duck here.
Look, going through it and obviously knowing Craig fairly well, he's a fierce competitor out there. So I think that, look, you're dead right. The triples is where it's going to get done, but I'm sorry, Michael, but I think by the time the singles and the pairs are done, the triples are going to be redundant. So I'm actually going to go for the Chargers on this one.
Well, I hope we can prove you wrong. Anyway.
Which actually, and I will say, because I know he's watching, my son's probably locked the house and my car won't be getting now. So.
We hope we are wrong, TJ, but all the best logic for that one.
Thank you very much.
So moving right along, we'll look at the Southern Blazers versus the South Eastern Spartans. So you're looking at the Blazers lineup with Jeff Munn in the singles, Dylan Lewis and Ash Wiley in the pairs with Karen Gatto, Brenton Speed and Mark Evans in the triples. They'll be up against the Spartans, who this week have put Blake Feebig in the singles with Nathan Black, Tyson Wilson in the pairs, and Vicky Arbin, Scott Binns and Tony Devlin in the triples. That's actually a reasonable lineup, Lodgy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a tough one to pick, this one. Blake Feebig, he's an ex-club mate of mine. He's a very good player. It's good to see him back playing in top flight again. I think he might just edge money out in the singles, but I think Mark Evans versus Tony Devlin in the triples will be a real good match. Mark Evans, he's just a real versatile player, so I think he might get the Blazers over the line.
Matthew?
Yeah, as you said, Lodgy, there's good balance in both these teams. Both these teams have gone out and picked a female early, which is great to see those players involved, Karen Gatto and Vicky Arbin. So congratulations to them for being selected in the first round. So it is very even, tough one to pick. I really like the young guns matched up in the pairs in this one. So we've got Dylan Lewis and Ashley Wiley on one side and Nathan Black and Tyson Wilson on the other. So two under-18s also picked in that one. I reckon the winner of that will get the chocolates for the overall game. I'm just going to back the Spartans narrowly. What do you reckon, mate?
Well, I actually did notice that the youth is going through the Spartans, which I think is really good, and it does ring a bell for what the tournament's all about development through SA. But you know what, I'm actually going to go with the Spartans. I think they'll just get across the line.
So we can't agree with Lodgy here. It's you and me versus Lodgy. He's going.
It is at the moment. I'll tell you what, we're going to have to, and he's actually between us and the door, so we're getting pretty risky. So the next lineup, the Mallee Pirates versus the Western Rogues. So we're looking through that lineup with Simon Dorr playing the singles, Adam Forbes and Andrew Hill in the pairs with David Carter, Jeff Davis and Gary Meekums in the triple. A real Modbury flavour in there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
And they're up against the Rogues, who have got Simon Grader Johnson in the singles, Ash Close and Josh Dunn, well, both holdfast boys together there, with Sam Dietrich, Corey Wildash and Max Kleindig in the triples. Lodgy.
Yeah, this is a very strong couple of sides here. If I wasn't playing, I might be finished playing by this time. I might be able to sit down and enjoy the pairs game of Forbes and Hill versus Close and Sutton. I think that might be the matchup everyone should go and see, because that'll be just quality bowls, bowl after bowl. And I think Closey and Josh, I reckon they'll get the job done and they'll get the win for the Rogues overall.
Very good. I'm actually in agreement with you, Lodgy.
For
funny
change?
enough, that as you said, they're both very strong teams here. They're a good mix of country reps in this week, so good to see those players represented. A really good challenge here for Simon Geeta Johnson in the singles up against Simon Dorr. Simon Geeta Johnson, country carnival singles player, champion this year, obviously, and now matched up against state singles, and obviously a very well decorated player in Simon Dorr. Will be a good challenge for him to take it to the next level, but I think I'm going to back the Rogues across the other two disciplines to potentially cover if Dory has a win over Sol. But best of luck to those two players, but Rogues in a close one for me.
Yes, unfortunately I have to apologise to Simon Dorr and his teammates there in the Pirates. I'm also going to go for the Rogues. I think that I do agree with Michael that the Closey, Studham, against Forbesy and Hill would be an absolute cracker game to go out and watch. But I think that, Glacier and Studham will probably get the job done there, I'd say. Not pretty well, but I think they'll just get across the line on that one. So for me, it's the Rogues. Look, moving on to Hyson Comets versus the Northern Knights. So leading for the Comets, Ash Hall's playing the singles. We've got Ben Harris and James Gregory in the pairs. And we've got Josh Choppin, Damon Edmonds and Darren Niblett in the triples. They're up against the Knights with Darren Warner playing the singles. Bernie Ward and Todd Brand in the pairs with Yvonne Kelly, Luke Pittersma and Kane Cools in the triples. Logie.
Yeah, well, this one's a really tough one to pick. The Comets with Ashley Halls playing singles. He's a really good singles player, always does well in the tournaments. That'll be a very interesting matchup. But I think the triples as well. Luke Petersma and Kane Cools, there's a couple of real, well-known players and, aggressive players at the head. I think that'll be a good combination. Against Darren Niblett, Nibs loves to step up for a tough match. So I think the Comets will get this one done.
Very good. As you touched on, I think the singles match is going to be very interesting for this one. So two players that they do sit under the radar a little bit. They're very, very good players. Ashley Halls versus Darren Warner. I can speak first hand of that. I reckon both have kept me in a game of singles to less than 5 shots, not to get self-indulgent, but I think that means they're pretty good players. So they're very well deserving of some high recognition. So I think that'll be a really good game for those players. As I said, they're probably not talked about on the same level as the Simon Dawes and those likes, but they are very, very good players and deserve to be in that conversation. So that'll be a very good game to watch. I'm just going to back the Knights due to their local advantage. Salisbury Bowling Club is aligned with the Knights, so I think they've had a little bit of inside track knowledge, and I'm just going to back the Knights. How about you, TJ?
Well, I think there's a mixed bag in there. There's no clean sweep on that paper, I can tell you now. Look, I happened to have the pleasure of bowling against James Gregory in pairs out at Westlakes on the weekend, and Jimmy, I'm still walking with a limp from that one. I really think that I'm going to go with the Comets on this one. I think they might just get it 2v1 in there and take it, but it's going to be a close one.
Absolutely. All right. So now moving on to our next segment, we're going to turn the spotlight directly onto you, Michael Lodge, and ask a few questions about your bowls career in the Super League. So a reminder for those at home, please engage with the video, send through your questions. If you've got a question specifically for Lodgy, we'll try and ask the best one by the end of this segment. So I'm going to self-name the segment TJ's Torch, because he's going to shine the light on you, Lodgy. So
right, he's not going to torch me, is he?
hopefully not, though. Take it away, boys.
Right, look, we've got a lot of exciting talent that's out there on Friday night at 6 o'clock, but Michael, you've probably sat back and you've looked through the buys and went, who are you most excited to play with or against?
Personally, as a personal player?
Yeah.
Well, I just like seeing the younger guys come onto the scene. A lot of these under 18s, we don't get to play against them very regularly, so it's good that they're all coming out. A couple of guys in our squad, Jackson and Sheridan, they're going to be top players after a practice with them on the weekend. They've just got a lot of potential and they're just keen to play and they just love bowls. And I mean, as a guy who's been playing since a young guy myself, I can just look back and say, I remember that was, I love that bit about bowls. I remember being just like these guys, just loving bowls. So the young guys, I really want to come up against the juniors and see how they go. So.
Well, if he improves his bowls just as well as he can clean his room, mate, we'll be doing all right.
All right.
So, mate, the whole concept. So, what does the SA Super League mean to you?
I think it's a really great innovation to try and just develop bowls into something bigger. I mean, bowls has been going on for a long time, and not a lot has changed in it. And it's just a really great opportunity that Bowls SA has put together along with all their sponsors and all the help they've gotten, just to try and put up another elite level competition that people can come along to, have a watch and enjoy. And I think it's just really trying to promote bowls as such a good sport it is.
So I don't know much about the game. I'm sitting there, I'm sort of new to it, I'm watching this here at home. What's going to be the biggest thing that's going to be out there at 6 p.m. for me to go, wow? I think
it's going to be exciting. I think these are the guys that love playing bowls, that are passionate about playing bowls, and I think there's going to be genuine excitement. radiating off the green, hopefully, from all the players. They're going to be loving it. And I'll tell you what, the inaugural Super League, everyone wants to win it.
Yep.
That's the one you want to win.
Well, there was definitely a buzz. I think there was about 4 of the teams out there on Sunday.
Yes. Yep.
Obviously, the Eastern Raiders out there early.
Yep.
Bit of an early advantage out onto the green.
Got first look.
From a team perspective, bonded well.
Oh, very well. Yeah. We if you look at if you're to rank guys as superstars and great bowlers and good bowlers, I mean, we're probably not real superstars, but we're all good bowlers and we all get the job done. It's a great mutual respect among the squad and the coach, Steve. I think he's got a lot to offer the side with his coaching experience.
Yep.
And yeah, we felt really good after the practice. We had a good discussion afterwards.
Yep.
And everyone's just genuinely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I must say that the car ride home for myself was full of excitement from a young lad sitting next to me that thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Michael, thank you very much. And look, is there any questions that we've got?
We do have a couple of quick questions from the viewers. I'm going to jump in with one of my own before we get to them quickly. The playing with other players from around the state that you wouldn't often get the opportunity to do so. What does that feel to you, and what does that mean?
It's really good, and as a guy, I mean, I've only ever played at one club since coming to South Australia, so I haven't had the chance to play with a lot of these players apart from state events and things like that. And it's really good, you get to it's meeting different people, but it's getting different views on the game and how they approach it and different ideas of how to play it. So it's it's really good, and like I said, especially the young guys, to get to see them coming up and. It's fantastic.
Excellent, mate. All right, so we've got a couple of quick viewer questions. So we thank the people for tuning in and getting involved. So a couple here. Dr. Josh Choppin, he's gone very much for a ruthless approach. Which game is going to have the biggest margin this week? He wants a blowout. He wants a bloodbath.
Biggest margin, biggest overall margin.
Yeah, who's going to really?
Hopefully not the Raiders winning would be all right as long as we're not going down. It'd be fine. I think I saw I was playing Rudy in the pairs.
Yes.
So as long as it's not that one choppy, I don't mind. All right.
They're all going to be close in your book.
That's it.
The second one, another rather humorous one, sent in by Ashley Close. What's your preferred nickname, Loggett or Blunker? Which one do you prefer?
Well, Loggett's a bit more traditional. I think I'll have to go with Loggett. I think when I'm rocking that singlet, Ashley, I do look like a bit of a logger too. So I'll rock with that if you like.
A log cutter, of course, or Blunker, some sort of character out of Street Fighter.
Yes. I don't know how I got that one up, but
I think they might be
I don't need to take a big leap on that one, Logic.
he must be a good-looking character.
Absolutely, mate, no doubt.
I'll show you after the show.
So thank you for that. You survived the TJ's torch, so well done.
Thank you.
Good to learn a bit more about you and your thoughts on the game. So we thank you for joining us here this afternoon. So a couple of quick plugs before we wrap up today's show. So people want to know how they can support their team and wear some of this fantastic gear supplied by Sports Centre. So we have replica playing jerseys, hoodies, polo shirts, hats and beanies. They're all available for purchase for each one of the teams. So if you want to declare your hand and show your colours, so to speak, get involved. You can purchase those through Sports Centre or Bowls SA on the website, or contact Bowls SA directly and we can arrange your order for you. So it'd be great to see a lot of people out representing a team, declaring their colours, like the football mentality and getting around that. So the opportunity is there for you to wear those shirts as well. There is another way to get your hands on a replica playing jersey, and that's through our tipping competition. So the winner of that one after the 7 rounds will receive a replica playing jersey from the team of their choosing. So entry is free for that one and anyone can register. So we want as many people in that tipping competition as possible. So again, you can register in that comp by jumping on the Bowls SA website or Facebook page. Just scroll down and find the post that was regarding tipping. So we hope everyone can get involved in that one. And that's about all I've got for plugs on this occasion. I'll hand back to you, TJ.
Thank you, Matthew. Well, look, that's about it for this week's show. Reminder to get out to the Salisbury Bowling Club, 6 p.m. Friday. There's going to be a lot of excitement. You're going to have cold drinks, hot food, bit of music. Come and try out on one of the grass greens, weather permitting, of course. And for those that can't make it out there, we're live streaming the triples game, actually, of the Central Chargers v Eastern Raiders. So that's the matchup between Renato Callista, Adrian Green, Mark Haynes, with up against Dwayne Edwards, Chris Flavel and Carl Shapel. So, and that'll be followed after at 8 o'clock kickoff with the Mallee Pirates, my apologies, and the Western Rogues. And that'll be with the game between Adam Forbes and Andrew Hill versus Ashley Close and Josh Studham.
Very good.
So come and join us on the Bowls SA Facebook page, catch the action. Look, thank you to Matthew and Michael for joining us this week. We'll have someone new in the hot seat for next week's show. So stay tuned next week, same time, same day.
Thank you everyone for joining us back at home.
Thank you.